Holy mackerel, look at that.
Yeah. So this is the silhouette.
The hostage.
Yeah, hostage silhouette.
And she's spring-loaded.
Yep.
Oh, I see what they got going on there. It's cammed.
Yep, it's cammed.
Flip it again. That's really cool.
So what?
Oh, what the heck.
And yeah, so we're
okay. Well, let's destroy this thing, man.
Yeah.
Is this one of them deals where you have to be in shape to do it?
Not really. I'm not struggling yet. Okay, so
that's sturdy. It's got angle on the feet.
Yeah, you can adjust the angle, the hangulation.
So give her a swift kick from the side there, huh?
Should I ninja this side?
Yeah, ninja it. Oh, yeah.
Just broke my ankle. Oh. Okay, so firing position is there. Got the dirt around here so we don't cause us forest fire. Now, this is how this works.
What in the heck is that deal? Sure.
One on each side. Also, I'm not going to push this little guy up at that range.
You can do this little fella too, huh?
Yeah. See that?
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, we've been playing with this thing for over 2 years now, and we start off easy, of course. Yeah, nice shot, man. Yeah, you don't see any peripheral splash on these. They're solid. Yeah, nailed it, dude. Oh. Easy peasy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I got 11.5 and I'm going to hold off 1.3.
And then we work our way up and get completely Western with the thing.
Bring it around!
Oh, man.
Hey, thanks!
A little more front heavy now, eh?
Yeah.
I'm going blind from the gas in the face.
Howdy guys, Rex here. Today we're going to talk about Straight Shot Gunsmithing's cutting edge reactive target system, okay? Now this is a target that I've got a lot of questions about over the last couple of years, particularly after the last video I just did on AR500 steel and its properties and OS tempering of steel and the metallurgy. And a lot of folks saw this target being featured in that review, and so I thought that it'd be just most straightforward and simple to talk about that target specifically. We've actually been trying this particular target out for a couple years. It's the hostage. It's basically an IPSC target with a hostage kind of taker behind it, the little flapper. That's the bad guy, is the flapper. And you can also engage the hostage if you want to have a larger target. But it gives you two different levels of challenge. That's a very popular target configuration. There's a lot of different things with this particular target that I think are very, very nicely configured, and we'll go over that in a minute. First, we'll talk about how we've tested it. Over the last couple of years, we've got thousands of rounds on these targets at various ranges, from big magnums to pistols to point-blank range, all the way out to ELR. We've shot at it with ARs at less than 10 meters. Quite a few hundred rounds on target there, which is maybe a little dangerous, but we got to battle test these things. Also, you guys remember the old FAL video? We did it with M80 at close range, where we hammered it with a whole pile of magazines with M80 at, less than 100 meters. And of course, we've been shooting at the magnums, the high-powered rifle 6.5s, 7mm Magnum, large 338, stuff like that, in between 300 and 1,400 meters. And so it's actually a target that's been, run through the ringer, shot. We use it at a lot of the rifle classes. A lot of guys shoot at this thing, and it's been painted about 8,000 times now. And between this one and the other model we've been testing, we've got a pretty good idea of how well it performs. It's been shot from various angles. We've investigated edge hits at various distances with various calibers and loads. I know that that's an issue a lot of folks bring up. We brought that up in our last video, the AR500 OS tempering processes for steel and normalization of the edges. And so if you want to get more on edge hits, there's a video preceding this one you can check out. We talk about the metallurgy of that because this is a plasma cut target. That's why there's so many different features available in it. I think the cuts it's a lot less expensive to cut these, so they can add a lot more features for the same price as you would get in something that's cut with a laser or a water jet. So if you got questions on the differences between plasma cut versus water jet versus laser, go ahead and watch the preceding video to understand the metallurgy. But we have shot it from various angles, lots of edge hits, and to summarize that last video, basically there's no discernible practical difference in a target that is cut with a CNC laser or a water jet versus one with a plasma cut, because it's only a tiny fraction of an inch difference in softening. Actually, the softening does prevent chipping on the edges in trade for more of a smooth deformation. It's also, this one has been left out in the natural elements to test the bearing pivot system. This one has a very intricate system. You can buy this target just as the plate, or the plate with the legs, or the plate with the legs and the pivot bearing system with the flapper, and there's different size flappers available. But we have left this outside. Pretty much the whole time it's been in the back of my pickup truck with the face down, so that mechanism's been pointed towards the sky, and it's had snow buried it. It's had rain on it the whole time, all the road dust, and that we've tested that bearing pivot system for over about a year and a half with all the rain, sleet, snow exposure without any kind of maintenance. There are little grease zerks on it, and we have not greased it, and so we can give you the full assessment there. The number one thing I want to go over first when we're talking about the target is the configuration of the target, and particularly the features. Then we'll go over the size and shape and portability, okay? This is a full IPSC target. The target plate and stand are cut from 3A steel, AR500 steel, plasma cut. This is a hostage target flapper plate is on a bearing pivot system, which provides actually very reliable function, even for long-term stuff and for taking lots of hits under the elements. We'll go into that in a minute. The adjustable spring tensioning on that bearing pivot system is adjustable for different ranges and remaining energies of the bullet power. So if you're using a heavier caliber, you can tighten up that spring. You just change where the spring is hooked onto. Or if you're shooting with something lighter and the spring's too stiff to let that thing flap over, or if you're too far away, if you're varying your distance, if you're shooting at over 1,400 meters, then you can go ahead and change the positioning of that spring. Very, very intuitive, very smartly designed system. It also has highly adjustable legs that are actually very well done. They enable a forward cant positioning on ground level, which will deflect the bullet fragments downwards into the ground so you get that nice peripheral splash. You can always kind of configure it that way. And it's got a wide enough stance that you can even configure it that way on a hill. And it has a bunch of multiple holes where you can move the pin to get it squared up to the shooter's position on uneven ground. Hillsides, embankments, doesn't matter if you're on the side of a hill, on the face of a hill, downhill, on very weird terrain. We do a lot of shooting on uneven terrain. And so we've had a lot of other target systems that have been more of a nightmare to try to set up. You got to find the perfect spot for the target or it'll fall over. This one has legs that are angled outwards from the center of gravity for a very stable platform. That's a very smart feature. Legs that are angled outwards laterally from the center of the target, and that's smart. That widens it up quite a bit. You can set it up on a hill. You can hit it from weird angles. A wind can come up. There's a lot of things, and it won't knock it over. And also, those legs being fully adjustable with that wide stance is very, very, very nice. You can set this up on any kind of surface. It's very adjustable, short of a cliff face, but then you would have to hang it. But it's the most deployable system that we've tested thus far. Size and shape, it's full IPSC, 32 by 18 inches. Just a hair under 32 if you measure it with a tape measure, just like a eighth of an inch, like 31 7/8 tall, 18 1/16 wide, and the head is 6 1/4 by 6 1/4 is the dimensions of the head. And portability is actually pretty nice. The legs fold up and pin closed in a closed position for transport, and it actually has a handle cut into the bottom of the plate. Those of you guys, I know that I've wrestled with a lot of these large pieces of steel over the years, trying to climb up a butte and set these things up. They weigh over 100 pounds, some of them. This one, I think just the plate itself is less than 100 pounds, but with all the other stuff attached, they get very heavy. And without something easy to grab onto, it's actually a little bit treacherous climbing up and down these embankments with these things in hand. So having a handle on it, you can carry it upside down and have a very secure hold on it. Very smart feature. I really like that feature a lot. The ruggedness, obviously it's AR500 3/8 inch steel. It'll withstand anything up to 3,000 feet a second impact velocity. We've tested that. We've actually pushed the envelope beyond that in the testing at point blank range with the M193. And there's like no visible or practical deformation at those distances. You might be able to detect a tiny divot with the M855 at close ranges, but at AR500 steel is tempered to a martensitic state. It's very, very hard. The Brinell hardness number is high enough to where it withstands impacts very well. The plasma cut versus laser cut argument, really, if you look at it closely, like we talked about in the last video, the heat affected zone and steel normalization is kind of over-exaggerated and misunderstood if you actually compare them side by side. And we've got thousands of rounds on all different kinds of targets cut with various methods. And sometimes, you'll trade those engineering ideals. Like from an engineering point of view, it is true that those edges will be softened a little more with plasma. But if you look at the field reality of that, that is an indiscernible difference. Unless you got a magnifying glass, actually you'll see that the ones that are hardened closer to the edge are a little more brittle on the edge in our experience. And we've shot, like we've said, at these things from all different angles. And in all reality, there's little to no difference. Actually, the AR500, this particular one cut with the plasma, actually seems like it's less easy to detect the edge hits. And so that's an interesting conclusion we came to after several years of really evaluating that. Various studies on the metallurgy and the impacts and reading studies. I actually was just talking to a person who works at Armor Factory, and they weld AR500 together for armored vehicles. And that's not an issue they worry about is on the edges, the softening that will naturally happen during the welds for even applications like that. So that's something that's over-exaggerated sometimes. Those ideals sometimes we'll chase down. We'll pay 10 times more for engineering ideals, and we'll kind of lose track of that field reality and how much you're actually gaining for the amount of energy and money spent to try to execute that ideal when you're missing out on the actual reality. Interesting discussion there. So if you look at plasma cut, there is a big advantage to plasma cut designs like this is it enables cost-effective feature sets. They can actually build these with a lot of features because they can make a lot of different contours and cuts because a plasma cutter is very fast, and they can actually give you these targets for a lot better value, a lot less money for more features. And so that's one reason I actually do kind of like this particular configuration. The reason they could get robust with the different features, and particularly with the way the legs are constructed, with all the different holes and the cuts for weight reduction, and the legs that bite in, they have teeth on the bottom of the legs. All those cuts are made a lot easier to do on a plasma cutter that's very efficient and very fast and very cost effective. So they can provide a very, very robust target with a lot of different cool features that maybe another manufacturer would spend a lot of money trying to get done just because of the execution of the cutting process. If you look at the system deployment, that's the real cool part about this target, in my opinion, is the ease of deployment. Like I drive around a lot and set up these targets on all kinds of weird terrain in all over the country. And being able to just go out there, have those, you know that no matter whatever spot you pick, you can adjust those legs and they're going to be stable on whatever position you're at, no matter what kind of angle it can be on any side of the hill. And you get a very, very stable platform. And it's easy setup, and the uneven terrain adjustments are superior to any other system I've seen, which makes it very, very desirable in my opinion, especially for what I do.
Right edge.
Yeah, but it was twisted. That's why it turns.
And of course, the cost effectiveness element is one of the huge things you got to look at when you're talking about the features of a target. And in my opinion, this is one of the targets on the market that has the most clang for the buck, if you will. If you're spending your hard-earned pennies, and if you look at the pricing, you can actually get this with all the very, very robustly constructed pivot system, which is on ball bearings that are greased with a greaser and protected from the elements. Very, very cost effective, particularly if you look at the intricacy of that. If you look at it just being available as a plate, which you can purchase separately if you call them. Plates and legs are available separately if you ask them, and they can really cut anything you want. I mean, if you call them up and tell them you want a chupacabra, or if you want a Sasquatch target, they'll cut one for you. It's very easy for them to draw that up and cut it up for you. Also, the modularity of this design is very nice. There's a lot of different possible upgrades and add-ons you can do with this particular target. You can use different size flapper plates, or you can use no flapper plates and just shoot at the normal plate, or you can hang it with straps on a swing if you desire it. There's the bolt holes in it, so you can remove the pivot flapper system. You can move the pivot system on the back and go ahead and just hang it. You can outfit it with 2x4s and attach additional plates. And if you look at that part, that's very interesting. Even hammering away at like less than 100 meters with an M80 ball, shooting at the side plates, the target would not tip over. And it's standing on the center target. So those legs are very stable. You can put that 2x4 in there. You can have a circle hanging off to each side and then smack those circles with a high-powered rifle at very close range, and it's not tipping that target over. So it's a very, very neat thing. You can add on a couple extra plates, and you can even do a know your limits drill or anything you wanted. They have different size plates available as well. Might not be on the website, but if you call them up, they can get you situated with any kind of shape target you want. Then there's also a lot of other custom available options there, obviously, if you call them up. So if you look at the overall results of the testing on this target system, I'd say number one, it is actually very, very tough. We couldn't damage it. We tried to destroy it. We battle tested it. We shot it where we thought it shouldn't be shot. All the critical components are totally protected behind the target. Some other designs, there'll be a nut or a bolt head sticking out to the side to where even if you're circling it from different angles, and we've shot it from behind, even if you're circling it and getting really, really Western with the targets, it's very, very nicely made. And all the different components, when you set it up kind of facing you, are very well protected, even if you got a little bit of a diversity of your angle of fire. Some other targets are not set up like that. The legs are actually pretty impervious to bullet impacts. Some of the other designs where the legs are situated to be at kind of a 90-degree angle perpendicular to the shooter, if you take a direct hit on those legs, even if they're AR-500 steel, it's going to really destroy that steel if you get an edge hit directly at 90 degrees. These legs are angled. The guy that actually developed and designed this particular target does a lot of shooting. He's a very successful F-class shooter and long-range target shooter in the state where he comes from. And he does a lot of shooting on targets, and he's destroyed a lot of different targets. And so this is a design that's utilizing geometry. Those legs are sloping away from you, which is a very, very good way of deflecting that projectile from causing damage to that target. The pins and bolts are behind the plate, which I think is really smart as well, like we just said. The setup is actually pretty easy. It can be used on any topography, upslope, downslope, side slope, etc. And like we said before, the edge hits are indiscernible when compared against AR-500 laser cut CNC targets. So even though it is cut with a plasma torch, if you really look at the field reality there's not a huge amount of difference. The bearing pivot system still provides reliable function after 2 years exposed to the elements. And we got it filthy. This thing is just nasty looking, and it's protected on top by the frame assembly, and the bearings are still very smooth. I never had to use the greaserx yet. It performs as if it was brand new. It doesn't look like it's brand new, but it performs nice and smooth. You can just tap it and it'll swing right over. That spring will lock it into place. It operates as if it was on day one. There's a lot of other designs that try to execute that flapper system without using that kind of a ball bearing style, or something that gets very dirty very quickly or is not protected appropriately. This one with the greaserx and everything, the way it's constructed, is very, very heavy duty, and it actually works very well. It's one of the nicest one of those design targets I've ever seen. And they can afford to do that, being that they've executed the cutting process with a lot more efficiency. And so that's an added feature that you get for a very, very similar price to targets that are grossly inferior in that regard. Also, one of the other parts about Straight Shot Gunsmithing is they're a family-owned and operated business. They're truly salt-of-the-earth people who live very clean, and they love the good news, if you know what I'm talking about. So that's something, too, that when I went down there and visited with them, we actually talked more about a lot of those things than we did about guns or targets and stuff, and we just talked about all the really, truly important stuff in life. They keep it real, and that's something I greatly respect. So if you get a chance, check out Straight Shot Gunsmithing online. You can check out their website, Straight Shot Gunsmithing. They have a lot of gunsmithing services. They have a lot of tools that gunsmiths use, and then they also do have the target line. You might have to hunt for it a little bit on the website to find where the targets are from. Give them a call. Tell them what you're looking for. They'll custom configure whatever you need, and I'm sure you won't be disappointed with what you get. Very, very nicely configured targets.
Nice.
I've never taken a long-range class before, but I can't imagine anybody delivering this much information in this short of a period.
Yeah, it takes a while. After you've been around a while, you kind of accumulate most of this information. Some of it falls by the wayside. Some of it you retain. At least you know it's there, and if you need to use it, you can pull on it.
You cannot miss an opportunity to gain knowledge. You cannot. The guys that are going to talk here, there must be 250 years of experience wandering around in the people that you're going to be exposed to. And I'm talking like hard-earned experience.
Rex is, of course, an absolute natural. He showed us over the years that, so I wasn't surprised to see him perform beautifully because he was born for it. He is naturally an awesome presenter. So whether he does it through YouTube, on video camera, or live, and by the way, congratulations, this is beyond the full house. I really think some people snuck up on you, man. You got to double check on who paid and who didn't, because I see more than 80 people here. I see north of 100 people.
If you have not been studying long range for quite some time, I'm not saying not to come to this class. I'm saying you better put your helmet on. It's gonna go fast. You can't get information like this going to happen in this class. You can't get that like anywhere.
He's already well known and he'll get better and better and better.
But you're right. We have a very strong concentration of people with this much interest and passion. In this one room, everybody's here looking for the best and trying to be the best. And
I love it.
And that's the secret to success, too, guys, is surrounding yourself with competent, intelligent, and passionate people.
Yeah.
And you see that a lot in this room, because everybody that gathers together here is because of a love for the sport or the craft and the skill and the art and the science. And you, Mr. Rex, you're kicking some butt up there today, man. You're in the zone.
I'm getting sweatier and sweatier, Lou. Wait until 4 hours from now.
I'm a little scared to get up there. I mean, Rex is such a great speaker in this forum, and I'm thinking, oh man, I'm going to bore these guys to death. But I can tell you one thing I like about these type of forums: when you get guys that admit to being interested in long-range shooting, you're past the guy who swears he can shoot a quarter-inch group with his factory Savage with factory ammo. So these guys, they're not at that point. They've gone past that. They're really serious now, and they really know a lot of this stuff. It's more about how much further can I push my
this is where they've come with
capabilities with more knowledge and more practice and more information.
We'll have a good time. The students will have a good time. You're going to get a tremendous level of information, and there are different levels of knowledge. And when I met Rex, he was really the first guy that I had met that had that kind of tier 1 level of knowledge.
This won't be the last time that you guys do this. This is the best thing that I have seen or been associated with thus far in this industry. This is really good. I think that the guys have learned a lot about this on relative to the topics and how to handle it at the next one that they do. I expect that the next one will be better and better and better, and I think that the guys that go to it are going to benefit and learn a lot.
But you're going to see some amazing things. When this company, as he builds this company and this curriculum, and it goes, I'm telling you, it's going to be a bookmark in American firearms training history. Like, something is different over there, what's going on, and people will come from all over.
Hey folks, it's Lou McCoy with the Rex Reviews Project, and we are here in Texas. Holy crap, man.
Yeah.
This has been a lot of fun. I'm here with Jesse and his lovely wife, and what do you guys have to say after the second day?
So we get out here, the first thing we did was check out all of our guns and equipment. We want that solid. We learn the fundamentals, make sure that everybody is doing things like correctly and properly, and that way when we start shooting out the longer distances, we don't we don't have to wonder what's all going on out there, And I think that's really cool, because you feel a lot more confident knowing that you're solid. You got a solid foundation when you start engaging things way out there. So.
And you
I think that's great.
Yeah, man. And you start off really close, and you get all the bugs worked out, and then you work out farther, and it's no big deal. It's easy.
Yeah,
it's easy. So the system works, Mr. Rex. It works, my man.
Just this experience was probably the best shooting experience I've ever had. It was the most I've ever learned, ever. So just getting to shoot out to 1,000, 1,100 yards, and these guys get you out there quick and do it the right way.
But I think it's rolling down off the snow. Right.
No way.
Nah. That's still barely a 2.
Single.
Oh yeah? It's hot air. Nothing.
Yeah, reticle choice and design, I've really learned to, like, that's really important. We always focus on all the other stuff, but reticle design, is very critical.
If you pay attention to those classes and watch those reviews, it'll all come together for you, and this is a place where it all comes together.
Yeah, and you get out in the field and you get to apply all that knowledge and see it in action, and that's gratifying.
Absolutely, and it's the real world issues that that you're really learning here, as opposed to just you get all that technical data, and then you bring it out here to the real world and you put it all together and it works.
The secret Rex taught me about butterfly kisses on the cheek. And
it's actually true?
It was true.
Did it work?
It totally worked.
What?
It totally was. It happened earlier today, and all day I've been just on.
Like I just said a minute ago, yesterday everybody showed up. They were nervous. They didn't know what to expect. And look at the crowd behind us now. It's like a party back there, man. People are just having the time of their lives, and not only having a good time, but making some shots too. Some impressive ones.
They're learning what they come out here with. The dot drills, a lot of the drills that Rex and Paul are having us do, they really make you, get you into shape and make you, do exactly what you did the last time and be consecutive, So I think that's a just super way to start to do this stuff. So.
Yeah, it is. And you lay that solid foundation, and the rest is easy, man.
Yeah, we're just now it's not even really hard to shoot out there. We're shooting out at 1,100 yards, and really not that big a deal now after we, now that we know what to do.
All right, what just happened, man?
I just hit a water bottle at 875 yards.
And you had one shot.
One shot.
That's not bad. So what's the secret, man?
Aim small, miss small.
Amen. Well done, brother.
Thank you.
As long as you pay attention and do what the instructors say, it will all come together as an equation, and the equal sign pops right up.
Name's Edwin from Boston. Traveled out here to Pennsylvania to take the class to shoot past my home range of 600. Shot out to 1030, made some hits. Every time Rex teaches you something new and gets you comfortable, he totally messes with you. Gets you dirty, gets you muddy, makes you roll around in the rain and the mud and the dust. And then he takes your scope and he messes it all up, and he teaches us something new every time. So great time, good guys.
Nice shooting there, Tex.
Thanks, man. Second round hit on the gong and first round hit on Fred. Almost a 1,000-yard shot. That was pretty awesome.
Feels good for first stage of the day, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I wasn't shooting very good yesterday, but it's good to come back.
Haven't shot past 400 yards until I came to RX-18. Right off the bat, brought us right out to 1,000 yards, gave us some confidence. And after working the range tables, I see no reason why I couldn't hit any target that I knew the true range to and had the dope for, all the way out to and including 1,000 yards.
You're exposing, all the different students, including myself, to some different techniques, pulling from different arenas, whether it be from some application of competition, PRS, NRL kind of things. When we can't always take a prone shot, shooting off of obstacles, from unstable positions.
I came to the RX just to learn everything. It's a great place to be, great people. Learned quite a bit. Got me dialed in at ranges I've never even looked at before.
I've been to RX 17-001 seminar and 001 shooting, and so I have some familiarity, but this is just a lot better. This is what I really enjoy. The instruction is again top notch. We learn any problems we have, we immediately have someone to diagnose the problem. It's because it's so relaxed, the environment, you're constantly learning and you don't even really realize it. I think it's just been an awesome experience, and the knowledge is unbelievable.
Hey, my name's Mitch. I just over here at the Rex Live Fire event. Learned a hell of a lot. I got my rifle zero for 100 yards yesterday, and within a few hours I was hitting 1,030 yards. Past 300 yards in my life, so it's definitely worth the money, definitely worth the trip, the hassle, everything about it's been great. Rex has been great, the crew's been great.
Oh, this has been terrific from my standpoint. We've seen things that we never expected to see. Let me see, we've got one guy, first time ever, at over a mile or whatever, and he's hitting 25, 80.
I think everyone got to a mile, didn't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, everyone got to a mile in the whole class relatively easily.
It's really been surprising, and that just shows how the equipment, and it shows how the shooters have progressed learning and with the instruction and all. These guys have had good instruction, and they've just got the job done.
And how far were you shooting?
It was 1 mile.
1 mile, and what were we using here?
300 Win Mag.
300 Win Mag.
But probably not. Watch out, Rex.
So you just hit the 2,500 yards. Like, what's your solution?
It was 116 and a half MOA elevation and 14 MOA windage.
And you had 4 shots.
Yes, sir.
You got in your team?
I had 6, so 10 total to hit 2551.
So tell me the story. How'd you finally spot where you're hitting?
I saw the trace. I saw his trace, and I called it good, but he was about 6 inches off the top right corner of the plate. He made a minor correction, bottom left edge of the plate, and I saw the top of the bullet, but I lost it, but it was an impact. So awesome shot.